Hey guys, this is a topic that I normally would not talk about, and I'm sure that nobody really wants to. I don't know. I was looking. I had to get a colonoscopy, and I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to show you any pictures of anything disgusting. I'm not going to go into any nasty details. And but I know that when I had I was just doing this as a routine procedure that everybody has to go through at one point if you live long enough. They want you to go through. And I was looking for things online to reassure me what the experience was like, how I could prepare myself for it. And I had some anxiety, trepidation about doing this, as I'm sure that most normal people who haven't done something like this would want to know what to expect, right? So I asked some people in my peer group, and I got a variety of different experiences. So I fell into two camps. One was it was absolutely horrible experience, and another one that was not really that bad. So I was wondering why that was the case. So I'm just going to share my experience in a very general way about what happened to me when I got my colonoscopy, so that maybe this can help those of you who might also have a little bit of anxiety, trepidation about what this experience is like. I'm not saying that I'm not a doctor. I'm not in the medical profession. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you how to do anything. I'm just telling you what happened to me, so that you may be able to use this information and go on from there. So, okay. So first things first, I was confused as to whether or not it was covered under my insurance. And I was assured by my insurance company after a phone call to them that every plan that they have covers this, because it's a preventative thing. So I said, okay, is it 100% covered? And they said yes, because there's other things that I've done that have not been 100% covered, or at least not covered in the way I thought, and I ended up having to pay. So I wanted to make sure right from the start that it was. Well, it sort of was and it sort of wasn't. So I said, I went to, so here's how it happened. So I called, I made an appointment. They said, okay, pick a date. So I pick a date. So they said, okay, 10 days before that date, you're going to go to your pharmacist and you're going to pick up a prep kit. Okay, this is the prep kit here. And you're going to get the instructions, and you're going to go to our website and you're going to read the instructions. Here's the instructions from the website. Here's the instructions from the box. These are the websites, and they're going to follow the website instructions, and and that's and then you're going to do all that, and then you're going to come in to the place where we're going to do the colonoscopy in the hospital, and that's that, right? So great. So I go 10 days before my appointment. I go to the pharmacy. I go to pick up the prep kit, and they're like, okay, that's $70. And I'm like, wait a minute, I just called and they said that this was 100% covered. Why is this $70? They said, well, the pharmacist said, or the lady at the counter said, well, I don't know why, but this is what your doctor ordered. And so I said, okay, fine. So it was a Saturday. I call my insurance company. Somebody very kind answers the phone and explains, yes, there are several different methods that you can use to prepare for your colonoscopy, to clean yourself out. So this one that I ended up using it cost more, okay? And I'll tell you why I picked it, or why I went through with it. Well, one, my doctor ordered it. The other one was covered. The other one was something called PEG 3050 or something like that. Anyway, PEG stands for some kind of chemical. And this is the difference. I started reading up about this online, right? Because it was a Saturday. I couldn't call my doctor. Doctor was, offices closed, so I couldn't ask them directly. So I started doing my own research, as I want to do. So I go online, and PEG apparently involves nearly a gallon container of, you mix this powder in this liquid, and you drink it, and you drink like an 8-ounce glass every 10 minutes. And some people have a gag reflex. It makes them, it's not very appetizing, so they may get sick on it, or they use a straw so they don't have to taste it as much, or they mix it with ginger ale, And I talked to one of my friends who said, it was absolutely terrible and blah, blah, blah. So, and he had to drink so much of it in a certain period of time. So that was the freebie, okay? And then I would have had to have called the doctor on Monday and had them reassign it and all this sort of stuff in order to save $70. Well, this one I read about, you open up the kit and you get 2 5-ounce bottles in an 8-ounce cup. Okay? So this is called XplainD or XplainD. I don't know. I've heard it said XplainD, I guess. And what this is you take one dose, and then hours later you take the second dose. And in between you have water, and you also have some Dulcolax tablets. So this seemed like a lot more reasonable to me than drinking this gigantic container in a short period of time. The instructions said actually, let's go over them. So step 1, you drink one of these bottles, 5 ounces, okay? Then you drink 5 8-ounce cups of clear liquids over the next, 3 hours. So, I can do that, In fact, I basically did pint glasses, so that's twice as much, full of water, and I just basically chugged them, and that was no problem for me. I like water, so that was fine. And this stuff tasted like cranberry, sort of. So it wasn't like it's a milky white looking solution, but it wasn't thick. It was very easy to drink. I really had no problems with it. Okay, step 2, at 8 o'clock, I took 4 Dulcolax tablets, and then 7 hours prior to my colonoscopy, which ended up being like 2:30 in the morning, I had to do this, drink 3 more cups of water, and that was that. So overall, this seemed like the gentler method, more reasonable method. So when I went online and I read people talked about their experiences and their reviews, and the people who tended to say that they had a horrible experience and that they were in the bathroom for extended periods of time. One of them was actually a doctor who said that she was very anxious about doing it and kind of ashamed that she didn't do it when she was 50, but ended up doing it when she was 52 and was feeling guilty the whole time, was because she had this terrible experience with it. But she said, make sure you have your laptop and you have things to watch, all your devices are charged because you're going to be in the bathroom for a long time. That was not my experience with this. Okay, with this, basically, once I took the first dose and I had a glass of water, it took about a half hour before I had to use the bathroom, and it wasn't like it was urgent, like an emergency, like I had to run to the bathroom. But it was definitely my stomach was talking to me. It was gurgling. It was telling me something's going to happen. So I had forewarning. One of the things that I read online was people who talked about it unexpectedly. The entire time that I had to do this. Now I couldn't have gone outside. I couldn't have gone for a road trip. I couldn't have gone gardening and then run up to my second floor bathroom in time. But I could definitely leave the bathroom and go into the other room and play a video game or watch a little TV or watch some football, and then go back and when I needed to and go back and forth. So it wasn't like I had to be stuck in the bathroom the whole time. There were minutes when I had to, and then I could leave again. So if that makes any sense, okay. The other thing is, I don't know if this had anything to do with it or not. I was reading online about how to prepare for the prep by eating certain things, and that's what I did. It said about 5 days before, don't eat any nuts, don't eat any dried fruit, don't eat any red meat. So I didn't, and also the last 3 days before I took the prep, I ate sparingly. I ate smaller amounts of food on each of those days. I was trying to cut back because I was trying to get my stomach to shrink, because and then I also ate easier foods to eat or to digest. I ate pasta, white pasta, egg noodles, that sort of thing. The very last thing I ate at 1 o'clock the night before was guacamole with crackers, so that's pretty easy to digest. But yeah, because the day that you're going to do the prep, like that morning, obviously that night and that morning, you're not going to eat. So there's a list of things. You're on basically a clear liquid diet, and that's what's in the list that's in the instructions here. Things that you're permitted to eat if you're on the clear liquid diet, and that's what I did. And basically, you can have as much water as you want. You can have black coffee or tea, no milk, no soy, no creamer, clear broth or bouillon, so that could be chicken or beef, sports drinks, but not red or purple, and that's because that might be misconstrued as like blood in your, so if you stain your colon when they're looking at it on the inside, it might, they don't want to confuse any dyes with blood. So you can drink like, clear stuff, like Gatorade, that kind of stuff. Clear juices such as apple juice or white grape juice, ginger ale, not red or purple soda, so you can drink like Pepsi, Mountain Dew, plain Jello, not red or purple, and frozen juice bars, not red, like popsicles, basically, not red or purple. So me being the over-preparer, I got all this stuff pretty much. I bought like 3 containers of chicken broth, chicken stock, I think 1 of beef. I bought like 3 big things of like Gatorade. I don't ever drink Gatorade, but like I bought the Cool Frost, I think it's called. It's like white in color, and actually that didn't taste too bad. I got like 2 big 48-ounce containers of apple juice and 1 of white grape juice. I got a thing of ginger ale, which I never opened. We made Jello, but that was disgusting because I don't know, man. Jello is just disgusting to me, and it's basically like ground up like bones, in animal fat. But anyway, and frozen juice bars. Now, there's one thing on this list that I used that was very helpful for me that I saw on a different list of things that I was allowed to eat, and it was hard candy. Okay, sugar candy. Basically, here I'll show you what I'm talking about. Like these things right here, because basically, here's what happened to me. So the morning of, I woke up, I wasn't real hungry. I was a little bit hungry, but I went out to the store with my girlfriend, and we picked up some of these candies, and I ate like 3 of them, and that did the trick, like that assuaged my hunger for a bit. But it was a Sunday, and normally we go out to brunch on Sunday, and about 12:30 my body's like, hey, you know what, it's 12:30 on a Sunday, usually you're like eating like Chinese food right now. And my girlfriend's like, well, I'll make you some broth. So she made like a chicken broth with garlic in it. I didn't eat the garlic, but like, flavor it with some soy sauce, some lemon juice, whatever. And I ate that, and all that did was make me hungry because it was so much like food. My body's like, wait a minute, where's the solid food? You know what I mean? And I just, So what I tried next was the frozen popsicle bars. Basically, I used these like Sour Patch Kids flavors like lemon, lime. That was great because that gave my body the sense of eating. And I obviously didn't have the fullness, but it gave the sense that I was eating something. So I was going through the motions. So I would say if you're afraid, because one of the things I thought I was going to have a real tough time with was the hunger. Because I eat, every couple hours I eat something. I mean, I just do. It's just something that I've done. It was part of like a workout regimen that I always was told to do, and I do it, and I find it very comforting. And if I miss those couple hours, like I always walk around with like Lara bars in my pocket, or like these like Vega protein bars, and like so or a ham, or little snacks and things like that, because I don't know, I that's always been like a crutch for me, you know, like, but if I miss eating after 3 or 4 hours, I'm a little cranky, you know what I mean? So I thought it was going to be a lot worse, but it turned out to be not so bad. Now, Sunday morning I usually wake up and do my legs workout. I did not do that this Sunday when I was fasting, okay? I didn't want to make myself more hungry because, you know, obviously expending that energy, my body's going to be like, hey, man, where's the protein powder? Where's the meal? What's going on here? So I just relaxed that day, you know, like I just took it easy. I did a little bit of stretching, not very intense yoga, just a little bit of stretching, and mostly like floor positions, and that was my exercise for the day. So that's what I did. I didn't like tax my body, and but basically from like 4:30 when I started the first dose on, you know, that was like the point of no return. Like, you're not going to leave the house. So like, you better like just make sure everything that you need is there. And hopefully you have somebody with you who, if you did need something, they would be able to go fetch it for you, because you're not going to do it. The other thing I want to say is like, you know, you're not going to sleep the whole night through, but you'll be able to catch I was able to catch an hour or two, well, like an hour at a time. Towards the, you know, right before I was taking my second dose. In fact, I set like 3 alarms because I was afraid I was going to fall asleep and miss the opportunity to take the second dose, and that would have been bad, because when you get to this point here where you've taken dose number 2 and you're drinking the water, you think that you're clear, you know, like you think you're pretty much done. But apparently these Dulcolax tablets kind of dissolve whatever's left after the first like flush, we'll say, and then you take the second dose, and then there's a little bit more. So it was a very thorough method of like getting yourself to a position where they're going to be able to do a very thorough examination. So definitely do not think, oh, I'm fine, and like skip that second step. You know, I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm pretty much done. But no, man, like I would highly recommend like following the directions as prescribed, you know, as your doctor prescribes, because this isn't even like, there are several methods, I guess, to use. You can use this stuff for different stuff, I guess, not just for a colonoscopy. Anyway, and the other thing that I would say is this was like 7 hours prior to my arrival time. The last time I had to go to the bathroom was about a half hour before we were getting ready to leave for the hospital. So I basically put a towel down on the seat of the car, and, you know, like I brought a change of underwear and all that stuff just in case I needed to, you know, or I had an accident on the way to the hospital, you know, not a car accident, but you know what I mean. And fortunately, that did not happen. I was pretty much done. But if I had to do it again, I would probably have pushed back the time that I started and the time that, especially the time I did the second dose, a little bit further, just so that I was pretty much, I knew like I was going to be complete. Because the last 3 hours before, you don't drink any water. And I'd been drinking a lot of water up to this point, because one of the things that was stressed to me was to keep hydrated. So I was drinking a lot of water. Well, a lot of water means more bathroom trips, but it also means you're doing the process better as well, and you're not getting dehydrated. So that's what I did. But it also, you know, means that I ran almost all the way up to my arrival time, and still was needing to use the restroom. So anyway, that's one insight maybe that, you know, you could talk to your doctor about. If I have to do, you know, I was lucky. I don't have to go again for 10 years. But if that's something that, like, if I remember to watch this video and remind myself, that's the other reason I'm making this, so I can remind myself. You know, who knows what they'll have. In 10 years, they'll probably just like have teleportation, and they'll just take all that stuff out right through your gut. You know, like Star Trek. But no, I have no idea. But you know, That's not the point. Point is, that's one thing I would have done slightly differently, is I probably would have pushed this back like 2 hours. So, I'll talk to my doctor next time and say, like, look, like, I kind of could have had a close call the last time I did this. Is there any problem with me starting the prep a little bit earlier? So anyway, that's basically, okay, a couple other things just real quick. So the actual colonoscopy itself, I can talk about that. Maybe I should do a separate video because this is getting real long. But yeah, there was like nothing to it. Nothing at all. Everybody was super nice. There are professionals there. They put you down on a gurney that has like padding there, obviously like an absorbent pad there. So if for some reason something involuntary happened, you would be fine. There were ample like access to restrooms there. I just basically meditated and tried to like remain calm until they got to the point where they were going to they ask you a bunch of questions, a bunch of medical history and that kind of stuff. They make sure that they identify you like 3 different times to make sure that they got the right patient. They put an IV in you so they can give you like a sedative during the process. That was no problem. She missed the first, attempt, but the second attempt, no problem. It's just a pinch. And I'm not real great with needles, but it really wasn't that bad. I didn't look at it, of course. So then, and then they wheel you down to this room, and I'm talking football with like a resident, and then the doctor comes in, and the resident says, hey, you might feel this, you might not, you might feel a little burning going through your IV, or you might not. I didn't. And next thing I know, I'm waking up in recovery, and I had a little nap. And they're giving me cranberry juice and, a choice. Cranberry juice, I forget what the other choice was, apple juice or something, and graham crackers, and then I'm done. Now, okay, afterwards, I wasn't really starving at that point, but afterwards, I was fine. Like, they gave me the exact right dose of, like, whatever anesthetic they gave me, because I was able to get up, pretty much walk, dress, walk around. They didn't need a wheelchair. I didn't need anything like that. And we went and ordered Chinese food, because I was like, I thought, you know what I want? I want some, like, wonton soup. Something real simple. And then I got chicken and vegetables with white rice. And we got all that to go, and I'm glad we got it to go, because when I got home and I ate the soup, I kind of like urgently had to like use the restroom. So I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying that I'm glad that I didn't go to a restaurant, sit down and eat, and then have this reaction, because there must have been some of this stuff either still in my system, or I don't know why, but I really had to use the restroom quickly after eating that soup. And then there was another, after I ate the first helping of, like, I waited a little bit, and then I ate a helping of rice maybe an hour later with some chicken and vegetables, and I had to go again pretty quickly. And then it calmed down. And then I took a nap, and then it calmed down. So what I'm saying is, like, I wouldn't recommend going to the diner, ordering steak and eggs and like some messy, like, or going to like sitting down at like a burger joint and eating a messy hamburger and fries. You might get an unexpected, like, surprise. So that's something I wouldn't do. So so take it home, go home, ease back into it. That's what I've been doing over the last few days. Just easing back, letting my body like ease back into it. Stuff that's easy to digest. And like, this isn't what I normally, I don't normally eat like white pasta. I usually eat like high fiber foods. But they say eat the low fiber foods for a while to let your body get back to normal. And then you can eat basically whatever you want. So anyway, that's my experience with this whole colonoscopy thing. I hope that this has been helpful to someone. I know I went on for like almost a half hour about this. This is for me as much as it is for you guys, I guess, in a way, because I just want to be able to remember this 10 years from now. So 10 years from now, I'm not like racking my brain and going, oh my God, it was terrible, blah, blah, blah. So, it wasn't the most fun thing that I would have done on a Sunday night and a Monday morning, but it could have been worse, and it wasn't as bad for me as other people have described. So, you know, you guys feel free to put your comments down below. If you know, tell me, you know, what, you know, if you want to talk about this, or you have any questions, or if you had a similar experience, or if you had a different experience, or something, or maybe I just got lucky. I don't know. All I know is, for me, it wasn't that bad, and I got a clean bill of health, and I'm so happy. And that was worth the whole process. So, plus I feel like 5 pounds lighter, and I probably am, and I just took a walk. I feel like great, you know. So, anyway, thanks for listening, guys. I hope this was helpful, and yeah, see you out there, man. And do something nice for somebody today, because, you know, they might not be having as great a day as you. So, all right, talk to you guys later. See ya.